Hello, I'm Tom Wicknick. Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you info on a robbery in Ridgecrest, California economic news, and today's Talking Points editorial.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
In local news, the Ridgecrest Police Department has released the following information and request for assistance. The Ridgecrest Police Department is seeking the public's help in identifying the suspects shown in this video. I would like to add that in viewing this video, it may be disturbing to some viewers. In talking to the store owner, he told KZGN-TV that over the weekend, 3 individuals robbed the East Ridge Market in the 400 block of East Ridgecrest Boulevard. The attacker threw salt in the clerk's eyes and then jumped the counter and tried to beat the clerk. The clerk fought back, and eventually the attacker took off. The one robber that did the actual attack was an African American in a hoodie. It was a brutal attack. There were also 2 other individuals that actually stole merchandise, beer and candy from the store. The suspect physically attacked the clerk, while 2 other suspects stole items from the store. In reading the Ridgecrest Police Facebook posting about this, a lot of residents are very upset about this robbery. If you have any information, please contact Detective Tucker at 760-499-5112 or Detective Cushman at 760-499-5114. In the latest news in the Water District, the state mandated reduction in use order for the Indian Wells Water District is 35% and now in effect. The state mandate required all districts to limit watering to less than 7 days per week. The IWVWD board approved the reduction order via Ordinance 97 at their meeting last week. Ordinance 97 places the following conditions on its users. First, it bans watering on all Mondays. Second, it establishes a set schedule for watering. The schedule is even number addresses can only water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and odd number addresses can only water on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And third, it set time limits for watering between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. during the months of April to October. IWVWD water users should set the lawn watering systems to the appropriate schedules as required by Ordinance 97. I'll read them again for everyone to take note. First, it bans watering on all Mondays. Second, requires a set schedule for watering. Even-numbered addresses can only water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Odd-numbered addresses can only water on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And it sets the time limits for watering between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. during the months of April to October. In major water news, in a story submitted by Adam Nagorny out of Los Angeles, a California appeals court dealt a setback Monday to one of the many tools drought regulators want to use to force reductions in urban water use. The court decided a tiered pricing plan in the Orange County city of San Juan Capistrano that charged higher rates for big water consumers violated a voter-passed amendment to the state constitution. The appeals court said that a 4-tiered pricing plan adopted by San Juan Capistrano was in violation of Prop 218, an initiative overwhelmingly passed by the California voters in 1996 that prohibits government agencies from charging more for services than their actual cost. The 4th District Court of Appeals in Orange County, upholding part of a lower court ruling, said that San Juan Capistrano had failed to show a connection between the cost it was charging consumers and how much it paid to obtain and distribute the water. But the appeals court sent the case back to Orange County Superior Court judge saying that this kind of pricing structure, known as conservation pricing, was acceptable if the water agency can show a connection. It said that San Juan Capistrano's water agency, known as City Water, had failed to do so and invited it to try again. The decision came as California regulators, in the final steps of carrying out an executive order by Governor Jerry Brown that imposes a 25% statewide reduction in urban water use, as this region enters the fourth year of the drought. The reduction is supposed to be enforced by about 400 local water agencies, and one of the main tools to accomplish this was the use of conservation pricing. About two-thirds of the 400 water agencies in California use a tiered pricing system. While the decision is a setback to conservation efforts, it may not be as sweeping and damaging as some officials had feared. It offered a roadmap for how communities could use tiered pricing without running afoul of Prop 218, as the case is sent back to the lower court for further discussion. But the key point is that a government agency cannot charge more to provide a service than it actually costs. In most tiered water rate schedules, that is the problem. Water districts cannot show that just using more water costs more to provide. I contacted Don Zadiba of the Indian Wells Water District, and he said they will be reviewing their rate consultant to make sure any billing system they use is in conformance with the Prop 218, and he believes they are in compliance with Prop 218. And he just notified me before airtime that he has talked to their consultants, and they say that their tiered system is based on actual cost of providing the service. I also asked him about reaction to the proposed Cash for Grass campaign. He said they have seen interest from the public and will actually be rolling the program out real soon. A mailer will be going out to all the users about the program very soon. In California economic news, the 2015 report on economic competitiveness between states is out, and it still doesn't look good for California. The Rich States, Poor States report by the American Legislative Exchange Council actually ranks states on economic competitiveness. For the 8th year in a row, Utah wins. And for the 8th year in a row, California ranks poorly on the economic freedom and competitive scale. While California ranks 44th for its economic competitiveness, up from 47 in 2014, Utah earned the top spot for the states with the best economic outlook for 2015. Utah is followed by North Dakota, Indiana, North Carolina, and Arizona. The bottom 6 in the report were California, Oregon, New Jersey, Connecticut, Minnesota, Vermont, and at the bottom is good old New York. I wonder if Sacramento's listening. We'll have more news out of Sacramento when we come back. In an update of the bill in Sacramento requiring more vaccinations for kids entering the school system and limited the exemption provisions, the bill is expected to be heard by the Senate Education Committee on April 22nd. The bill is intended to end the dispute between parents who want to exempt their children for some or all of the vaccinations required for admission to public and private schools and a medical establishment that believes that vaccines can protect the students from the harm caused by infectious diseases and reduce the risk of transmitting the disease from schools to the broader community. The bill pending in the legislature would eliminate exemptions based on a parent's personal belief that the vaccines might harm a child and allow exemptions only for students with medical conditions that would make vaccination unsafe. The bill was introduced in February in a wake of a measles outbreak at Disneyland in December that spread to many other states and infected mostly unvaccinated children and adults. The Senate Health Committee approved the measure by a 6-2 vote on April 8th. The legislators, however, must keep their eye on the most important goal, ensuring that virtually all students have been vaccinated. Universal vaccination would reduce the risk of spreading diseases to students who cannot be vaccinated because of medical conditions, or to people in the community who can't be vaccinated or whose vaccinations for various reasons don't protect them from infection. The number of parents using the personal belief exemption has soared in recent years. In 2000, less than 1% of kindergartners entering California schools had vaccination exemptions based on their parents' beliefs. In 2014, the number climbed to above 3%, with some areas reaching above 20%. The rate declined in the current school year thanks to a new requirement that parents speak to a licensed healthcare professional about vaccines and the risk of not getting vaccinated. The bill has been endorsed by many health groups, including the California Medical Association and the California District of the American Academy of Pediatrics. It is also endorsed by the California State PTA and the California School Boards Association. If the bill clears the Education Committee, it must then pass through 2 other committees and then go to a vote in the legislature. Now it's time for the 35th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. The topic of today's editorial is it okay for parents to dictate to their kids' friends' parents for gifts to bring for a birthday party? But first, a couple comments received on the KZGN discussion group about my last editorial. Did the council do the right thing last night in not offering support for their Kern County Land Use Management Plan? Stan said a very lengthy response. Said, Tom, I disagree with you on 2 counts. Well water levels are dropping at an unacceptable rate, not an alarming rate. Play on words there, Stan. The well water levels are dropping pretty much at the same rate as they have been for 50 years. We have been in overdraft since the late 1950s. We don't need alarmists attempting to further polarize the valley. We are required to set up a groundwater sustainability agencies, and we will need people to be willing to work together to get the job done. Polarizing the entire IWV is not going to help cooperation. And second, he stated, the state-mandated groundwater sustainability agencies are locally controlled agencies with the power to regulate water usage. We have a water problem. Not supporting the IWV LUMP will not allow the state to come in and take over. That problem is the jurisdiction of the GSA. In my comments to the draft EIR, I asked if the county knew of any precedents regarding using zoning to solve a water problem. I got no answer. The U.S. is having water problems. California is having water problems. Kern County is having much more serious problems than the IWV. We are not alone, and we should not be jumping out with a unilateral solution, not understanding the unintended consequences. If land rezoning is such a great idea, why are there other 4 districts in Kern County not doing the same thing? Well, Stan, to you, I agree with most of your comments, except the state mandate issue. We need to do everything we can to make the new GSA a locally controlled agency. We do not want the state to come in and tell us what to do. Thank you for your comments. Now today's editorial. Is it okay for parents to dictate to their kids' friends' parents for gifts to bring for a birthday party? You heard now that it seems that quite often some parents are holding birthday parties for their kids. That's normal. However, the new issue is these parents are sending out birthday party notices with instructions to invited kids' parents to please purchase gifts that are on a store registry somewhere, much like we do for weddings. On the surface, I think it is a good idea, because often people don't know what to buy for someone. So in that case, I think it's a good idea. However, when the invitation goes the next step and says the following, I have a problem. The invitation might say, if you don't want to purchase any of the listed gifts, then please bring cash. It's like being told, buy this or that, or bring cash. It almost gives an air of bring a gift or don't attend. So there is no discretion on the part of the person buying the gift out of the goodness of their heart. What's next? If you bring cash, please bring in even quantities in $5 or $10 increments? And what about the invited kid that might not be able to even bring a gift, but would like to attend the party for his friend? Does that kid have to show up with a note from his parent that no gift was able to be provided? One justification to the trend I saw was, well, this method keeps us from confronting a person that gave a gift that the child didn't want or was duplicated, to get a receipt for the gift so it can be returned. This is a hassle for the receiving parents and can be eliminated by this new method. Well, this thought has some merit. I just never had a problem happily accepting any gift that someone was nice enough to buy for my child. It wasn't about expediency or the potential hassle of a return. It was about being gracious to the person that took the time to go out and spend their money on a gift for my child. For that, I would say thank you very much. Your gift is appreciated. In conclusion, the practice as a suggestion method is okay, but when it swings into this or that or bring cash, I think it goes too far. What do you think? I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email it to info@kzgn.net. Stay with us for weather and sports after this break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. Well, it looks like we have a chance of some wet weather coming our way. But first, here's a look at the temperatures across the region. In the Northeast, temperatures range from 42 degrees to 63 degrees. The Carolinas was 71 degrees today. Florida was in the upper 70s. Kansas at 63. Montana 51. Washington 53. And Oregon at 56. Along the California coast, temperatures in the mild 50s to 60s. But for us here in the IWV, and this is the wet weather I was talking about, tonight, 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 p.m. Partly cloudy with a low around 53. South-southwest wind 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Wednesday, a 20% chance of showers with thunderstorms, partially sunny at times with high near 79. Southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, those chances of showers and thunderstorms continue with mostly cloudy with a low around 52. West wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, continuing chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a high near 77. West-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, low around 52, southwest wind 10 miles per hour. And Friday, 20% chance of showers, partly sunny with a high near 77, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And that is your KZGN weather forecast for April 21st, 2015. And now back to Tom with the rest of the KZGN news.
Thank you, Keith. And now I'll go to Tom Heck for the sports.
And a very pleasant Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Let's start with a local sports note. Today it'll be Burroughs baseball and Burroughs softball. The softball team will be at home and the baseball team will be on the road today. The teams will switch spots on Thursday and the boys will be at home and the girls will be on the road. So softball games and baseball games, JV and varsity, all start at 3:15. Tomorrow night, the 5th grade basketball league resumes. They have 3 more weeks to go. Then on the second week of May, the second weekend, they'll have their annual tournament with St. Anne's doing a lot of the sponsorship for that. St. Anne's does a great job in that tournament, which Saracoso help hosts. And then the 5th grade basketball league will wind down. And so they have about 5 more playing days left. Now, the 5th grade league is comprised of all the elementary schools in town, including Charter and St. Anne's, along with Inyo Current School. They're fun to watch. Come on out Wednesday night. The action will start at 4:30. Saracoso baseball resumes today. It's their last week of the season. They'll play 3 games against Victor Valley College. Joseph Martinez, the sophomore from Palomar, will be on the mound today for Saracoso. Coso lost the first meeting against Victor Valley. Coso trying to get their second league win of the year and try to avoid losing 30 games this year if they can win a couple of the series games against Victor Valley. They'll play Thursday away. They'll play Friday here. That time has not been announced yet. There's a chance it could be a night game. All right, real quickly in the NBA. The Bulls win last night in Chicago. They beat the Bucks. They came from behind to do that, 91-82. It's a 2-0 lead now for the Bulls. They'll play again Thursday night in Milwaukee. That's a best-of-7 series. Golden State hung on and beat New Orleans last night. Boy, New Orleans is playing some pretty good basketball right now. Montel Williams, their head coach, they had to win their last game of the season against San Antonio just to get in the playoffs. They're the number 8 team playing against the number 1 team. Steve Kerr, Golden State, best record in the NBA this past year. Game number 3 will be on Thursday night in New Orleans, and you know what? New Orleans may win a game or 2 in this thing. They look very athletic. Golden State just shoots the ball too well. Michael Thompson, Steve Curry, they just shoot the basketball from the three-point line incredibly well. All right, baseball real quick. The Angels lost their 3rd in a row last night. They lost to Oakland 6-3 out in Anaheim. The 2 teams will play tonight. The Phillies, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Tigers all win last night. Now the Tigers are 11-2 right now, and they don't even have Jason Verlander back yet. Verlander has had some soreness, and he has been out. Wait till they get him back. But they're 11-2. That's a great start for Detroit. Chicago and the Reds also win last night, and Kansas City wins again. They beat Minnesota in Kansas City. All right, that's your sports. The Clippers will play again. Tomorrow night they'll play at home against the Spurs. They lead the series 1-0 in the best-of-7. Tom Heck for KZGN Sports.
So that's the news for today. Office of KZGN-TV know you have a choice on what you watch for news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station.